can see me a little bit better. And I just wanted to show you the Finger Fitness Études one more time. I wanted to give it another go because the last time I tried, and it should be the video below this one if you want to check it out, I came and I did a live stream of the Finger Fitness Études, and Dr. Kristen Denny Chambers was there during it. And I had cut my finger quite badly, and I didn't know at the time, in my sink, so I had a big slice in there, and I was kind of bleeding all over the place, and it was a little bit gross. And then when I got my clarinet out a couple of weeks later, because I had to take a couple of weeks off, there was still blood on my clarinet. So I wanted to give it another go. So I wanted to go ahead and just bring out the Finger Fitness Études and play a little bit for you and talk to you about it a little bit, because I feel like I didn't get as much time to talk to you about it last time as I would have liked. And there still is just a little bit of time left for the giveaway. So if you haven't registered for the giveaway, please go do that. I don't have the link in the video description at this moment. I will if you're watching this later on. But if you want to just pop off real quick right now and register, I put it in the community section there so you can check it out there. So let's talk a little bit about Finger Fitness Études. What I love about these is that they are so much fun to play. It really makes me want to actually sit down and play the clarinet. It's a little embarrassing to say that because I'm a professional clarinetist, but sometimes music can be kind of boring in the etude realm. It's very focused on specific technique that you need, and it's not as rewarding to play. Hey, David Winfrey. So what I love about this is that Dr. Denny Chambers has it really focused on what you need. So here's the table of contents for part 1. So you can see each one of these pages is a specific technique to work on. And then when you get into the etudes, they are beautifully written. They're very melodic. They're very rewarding for me to play for myself, but also for other people to listen to. So I've gotten feedback when I've played these around and people can hear them and they say they're just so beautiful, and I absolutely agree. So while you're focusing on that specific technique that you need to be working on, you're also getting to play quite a fun and rewarding etude. They are also adapted for bass clarinet with the low C extension. So part 3 in the back goes all the way down to that low C, which is excellent. And that's really fun because we don't have that many inspiring contemporary etudes for low C extension basses, especially for people that are just starting out with their low C extension or a bass, because some of the low C extension stuff is much more advanced, and you know, those are hard to do right off the bat. So these are really, really fun and really easy to play. So David is asking, how do I enter to win this? So if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a community tab. You can click the link there to win it. And my previous video that I made that was live where I sliced my finger really badly, there's a link in there too. Does this book come in a version for beginners? So I would say it is a little advanced for a beginning clarinet player. But what actually can work for you is that you could focus on the little etudes up here, and then you could start putting together the bigger etude there. So that's a possibility. In the back are more finger drills and scales and thirds written out, which is also a great resource, and they're for bass clarinet, and then there's drills for bass clarinet too. So let me pull that up so you can see it. So for beginning clarinetist, what you could do is you could go into the back in the appendix, and you could actually work on these drills and work your way up to the more advanced etudes. Nico said, yes, I entered 30 minutes ago. I got your Instagram note. Oh, yay, so good. So yes, for beginners, I would try the appendix section here and then having them work your way up to it. You can also sort of go through here and see which ones are close to your level. So for instance, if playing over the break is something that's still a little bit of a challenge for you, you could play the parts of the etude that don't go over the break, but it could be a goal for you to work to as well. So yes, this is a book for people that are a little more advanced, but I think you can work your way up to it. I personally don't have a clarinet. I'm a flute player. I would love to have a clarinet. Oh yes, I would love for you to have a clarinet too, especially if you're doubling, because being able to play the flute and the clarinet would be excellent. All right, so I'm gonna bring my stand down a little bit so I can put my music on here. Then I wanted to also just show you, she's a beautifully written foreword. She talks about what it was like writing this during COVID-19. She started this project beforehand and then continued it through COVID, which is quite remarkable. I was one of those people that kind of just sat in my garden, I feel like, for all of COVID-19 and tried to, you know, get through it that way. And then she has different tips and tricks in here too, which are great. And I'm going to read one to you because I think it's so good. Many of the etudes are meant to be played quickly. Eventually, slow and thoughtful work in a relaxed physical and mental state is critical for developing fast, fluid, and accurate technique. This is absolutely true. You want to be relaxed mentally so that you can actually remember what you're working on and you make fewer mistakes. If you're relaxed mentally and you make mistakes, you actually fix them better and you learn faster. And this can be meta. This goes into more than just clarinet playing. So if you're studying for a test and you're in a relaxed state, you actually remember things better than when if you're stressed and cramming for it. So that goes for clarinet as well. But also, we want to be relaxed as clarinet players. We don't want to have tension in our hands. We don't have tension in our bodies because that can cause long-term physical problems for us. So absolutely, you want to be nice and relaxed. And when you're playing something slower, it's easier to be relaxed. It's easier to be accurate. It's easier to be having nice, even rhythmic fingers, and then you can speed up from there. So, slow and correct is always better than fast and wrong. Feel free to quote me on that, and I am. That's why I wanted to read it to you. So absolutely right. The slow and accurate is much better than fast and wrong. I judge a lot of competitions, and I judge a lot of competitions, especially for district and all-state bands and things like that. And it is so heartbreaking to me when people come in and they play so fast. And somebody, yeah, Jarrett's saying I play guitar and I feel the same. Absolutely. It's the same for pretty much any instrument. And actually, if you think about it, with other things in life too, I mean, God bless it, you do not want to go in there and clean the dishes really fast, Katina, because there might be a broken glass in there and you might slice your finger and end up in the ER and getting stitches. So yes, it is much better in life to go through it slowly and carefully so that you can, not make those mistakes. And then you learn it better. It is heartbreaking for me when people come in, like I was saying, with auditions and they just power through and they're so fast, but it's just sloppy. Their fingers aren't even. So when your fingers aren't even, it sounds really bad. And that's an overall presentation, but also, if your fingers are not even and you're actually playing in an ensemble, you could be in the wrong place. You could not be lining up with somebody and in essence playing a wrong note. And this goes with sight reading all the time. So people will rush through sight reading a lot. And then when your rhythm is not stable, then you're playing notes in the wrong places, and they could be the right notes, but if they're in the wrong place, they are wrong notes. So what I love about this is that she's really driving home this very, very accurate playing and very accurate finger technique. And that is a really, really important thing for us as clarinetists and musicians. So we have a guitarist here, we have a flutist here. If you play any other instruments, go ahead and shout them out. This is definitely a big part of playing an instrument, keeping those fingers very, very even. So what I want to do is show you the top here, the very first etude, first flight, and it's this F-E-F-E exercise. And I'll show you a little bit of what my teachers taught me. I was a Leon Rushnov grand student, so two of my teachers studied with him. Hello, Toodle Noodle, that is the best YouTube name I have ever seen. And what he would do is my teachers would have me count aloud like this. So my teachers were David Krakauer and Paul Green. Local music store, they have a fully repadded low E-flat veto bass clarinet for $800. That's a good deal. Okay, no, wait, veto, double check on that one. See if you can get a lower one on that. If it's not wood. David, see if you can get them a discount if it's used. If it's brand new, that's a good price. All right, so let's talk a little bit about these even fingers. And this is the Leon Rushnov counting aloud technique. And we're gonna go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? And you want that finger really, really accurate. Now, I don't like how clicky it is, so I wanna take it to my repair guide, but I'm also hitting that key pretty hard. So let's try and fix that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that. David, price check around. I still think it's a good price, but if it's used, that might be high. Okay, so now we're going to play it. Hello, Michael O'Brien. So this very, very accurate, even finger work is integral as clarinet playing. And then the next little exercise in here, Dr. Denny Chambers has us doing it with the register key down with C, B, C. I'm going to do the counting aloud again. When you practice the counting aloud technique, make sure you count out loud, nice and loud. If you count like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, you're going to play like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like that, okay? So I'm going to play a little bit of it so that you can hear. This is my first time back to the clarinet playing, a little bit of practicing since I had to get my stitches out. So I wanted to be here with you as a real clarinetist with all of our real problems. But I'm going to start nice and slow, and I'm really going to concentrate on those even fingers, those rhythmic fingers, but also the beautiful musicality that I can put into that as well. And it's really easy to do that with these etudes because they're charming and they're fun, and some of them are quite beautiful, and they have a lot of personality. Nice and slow for first flight just to get it under my fingers. And the G, F sharp G actually was a little harder for me because I could feel that in this finger, and this is the one where I sliced it right in between, and it hurts a little bit. So I don't want to practice through the pain and cause myself any more damage, but it's sort of that pain that's like good hurt, like it's sort of stretching it a little bit. Thank you, lols. So we want to do a little bit, I want to do that same exercise right in here, and I highly encourage you to make your own exercises with the pieces that you're learning and all of your music, from band music to solo repertoire and all of it. Tudanola, I'm here from Miss Sheridan's band camp like 2 years ago. Hi! All right. So that one is still a little tight. I'm feeling it in there, and it wasn't quite as even as I like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'm keeping that curve and I'm keeping it close. So it's getting a little bit better, but I wanted to focus on that. All right, so a little bit, let's try a little bit faster. That one, but when I was going from the open G to the B flat, I heard a little extra blip of an A in there. It wasn't that pronounced, but that wasn't good enough. I want it nice and clean always. I want those very, very accurate rhythmic fingers, so I'm going to focus on that. But since B flat is 2 fingers and G is 0, I'm going to start at the most likely to be the problem, which is the B flat. All right, I'm feeling better about that. And Michael O'Brien, yes, close A is good for that. But no, we are doing the Finger Fitness Études right now. So now, whoops, dropped a thing. I'm going to start at the D, G, B flat. And now I'll start at the B flat below. And you always want to keep that rhythmic pulse in there. 2, 3, 4, 1 is what I'm thinking in my mind. And now I'm going to start on the G. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'm just putting a little bit of shape in there. I'm doing a little bit of a crescendo up to the top. Now the first one I did of that group, I wasn't quite happy with the B flat, and I found that I was showing off a bit and lifting up my fingers too much, especially my thumb in the back, so I just kept my fingers a little more contained and closer to the keys to help with that. So now I'm going to go back to that. David Winfrey, what's the price I should ask for in the Vito bass? It's a refurbished used. That I don't know. I would do, if I were you, I would do some market analysis and maybe call some other music stores and see what they have in stock. And it doesn't have to be a music store in your area. You can actually call some different ones. So I would check out Wiener Music up in New York and maybe some other places. So that was a question about a bass clarinet. A used bass clarinet for $800 with new pads and a Vito might be a good price. It seems a teeny bit high to me, but I don't know the bass clarinet market right now. So if that's a good price, go for it. All right, now I'm going to go back to the beginning of that phrase. That B flat's still giving me trouble. Let me try it again. I want to focus on that spot. So that helped a bit, just focusing on it there. Anyway, but you can hear how pretty this is. Very jaunty and happy, so I really like these. I've really been enjoying playing through them. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, I will make sure that I put a link in here to buy it, and then a link to try and win one. I think there's only a tiny little bit of time left to try and win it, but these are really fun, very lovely. If you get them, let me know, comment so you can tell me all about it. If you're on Facebook, Dr. Denny Chambers has a group. It's a secret Facebook group where you can go in and play it for other people and get some feedback or just build community and meet other clarinet players that are working on this. I love that idea. I think it's fantastic. All right. Thank you for coming by to this live stream about Finger Fitness Études, and happy clarinetting.